Why should students study economics? Well, economic principles are in action everywhere around us. Almost every decision we make throughout our day can be related back to economics. To illustrate how these economic forces affect our lives, we will now take you on a thrilling journey into the life of Frank Sutton. One morning, Frank decided a spot of early morning loud music would be a splendid start to his day. This loud music pleased Frank, but his neighbor Mitch in the room next door was most irritated as he was trying to study for a test. So what economic principle could be at work here, you may ask? Well, it is an externality.
Chaos theory.
In this case, Frank's loud music is creating a negative externality, which is impacting on the well-being of Mitch and his quiet study time. Mitch asked Frank kindly if he would please turn down his tunes. Unfortunately for Mitch, Frank is a selfish person and only thinks of his own well-being, so proceeds to leave the volume up. Well, what can poor Mitch do now, you may be thinking? Well, Mitch comes up with the perfect idea that would be an excellent trade-off to get an uncooperative Frank to comply with his wishes. He remembered he owns a pair of super cool, snazzy headphones that he could lend to Frank. This way, Frank can continue to listen to his tunes whilst being quiet enough that Mitch can study. This little situation demonstrates the economic idea known as Kerr's theorem. Here we have Frank, the studious student, attempting to study for his economics test. Frank is not thrilled about having to study for this test, so the sudden urge to flag the study and play PS3 starts to reverberate in Frank's mind. Frank is now faced with what we call an opportunity cost. Lunchtime, a time of day where a ravenous Frank Sutton likes to gorge himself like a hungry hippopotamus. Unfortunately for Frank, the college hall does not provide the tasty delights he so desires. The fact that Frank is also incredibly poor means he has no other choice where to eat. Although this may be the case, it would be fair to say Frank would not be the most valued customer at Pitter Pit. Frank decided it was essential that he buy the economics textbook to facilitate his study in ECON100 throughout the semester. To his horror, the price was outrageously high. How could this be, thought Frank? It's just paper stuck together. This monopoly positioning means Bennett's can charge a higher price than the market price for textbooks. After a stressful day at university, Frank decided he needs to let off some steam and pops down to the local liquor store to buy some chilled beverages. Upon arrival, Frank casts his gaze across the sizable selection of alcoholic temptations. This large selection of drinks presents a situation with many substitutes.
And that's my life with economics.